Working with horses, and particularly with Merlin the other day, it inspired me to bring a quote from another place. I just liked it. It spoke to me in many different ways. I already have variations of it for myself, but it's a quote from the movie Dune, and it's about fear. I don't know, some of you may be familiar with it. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. So I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing, only I will remain. I don't know why, but this quote fits so much for me, how horses treat fear. On one hand, it's this, it's absolutely useful, necessary for them to survive. But that's the only place they use it for. Because they know that living in fear, constant living in fear is gonna kill them. Emotionally, maybe physically, due all the imbalances, adrenaline, cortisols, and all these other things. So they face it. When they have to, they react to it. They run or fight or even freeze if they have to. But then as soon as they can free themselves from it, they let it go through them. They shake it off, roll it off, shake it off running, and then they will turn to whatever the source of fear was and investigate and learn. They look for information. And I know everybody has different ideas and concepts and experiences with fear. And recently, for me, when I was trying to face fears and figure out what is it all about, one of the answers was fear is lack of information. What are we often scared of? The unknown, of the consequences, of the results of the things that we haven't met yet. And to me, it felt like just lack of information of what's next. So, and horses are great about searching for information and investigating and learning about the source of what scared them. Because if they get some information, they can figure this out, and they can, next time, they can make even more deliberate and beneficial decision. I'm running or I'm staying. So, Merlin, if you remember our first session, he had some worry, had some hesitation about being touched, first of all, on his body, and just a little bit, maybe the belly, which is sensitive, rightly so. Yes, belly holds all the organs, all the vital organs. Well, yeah, he better be sensitive what gets to touch it, what gets to come so close to what keeps him going. So he was sensitive about that, and then he was very sensitive and worried about having his feet picked up. So worry, fear, whatever the combo is, I want to sort of follow the quote a little bit and see if I can support Merlin and maybe myself, I don't know, in that facing that fear, that worry and hesitation about picking up the feet, and see if we can face that, let it go through us, and then find just us in the end. Nice deep breath. All right, so again, gently letting know that I'm coming. Regulating my breath at the same time. So you guys, can you see how he's like he leaned, thinking about maybe leaving. And because I'm going back and forth between focusing completely on him and then talking to you, so that while I'm trying to create steady energy, steady contact, that may get a little disrupted, right? Because I'm doing explanation at the same time, but you also see him releasing and processing this whole thing for himself as well. So I'll just go back there. So he wants to move. That's fine. I'm just gonna stay at the shoulder. So I'll keep him walking around me in a smaller circle. So I can stay at the shoulder instead of landing at the back feet. He stops. I release my touch for a moment. And then just go back to it. Doing lots of nice touch, rubbing, massaging a little bit, anything that can bring some comfort to how he may feel around that. There's Kubota driving. I don't know if that's any distraction or not. That's fine. I just noticed that, and then I go on. I also, can I have this, please? Can I have it? No? Okay. Good. I know, that was a big one. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, okay. So one of the things that I do, I'm going to walk him out a little. I think he needs a little bit more release. One of the things that you may notice that what I do, if you heard me before, I often ask out loud when I ask them to pick up the food for me, I ask, can I have this, please? Nothing to do with him understanding my English. It's more about, it reminds me that this is a privilege for me when he picks up that food for me. And also it gives me it helps me to switch that energy and just gives me that little extra pause, little extra slow down when I'm about to, lift it, maybe tickle him, maybe do something to create that movement of the foot. It just gives me little extra pause to slow it down. Good boy. So right now I'm exploring the idea of what works better for him when I take very slow, take very small steps to run my hand down, or if it's more like a one steady move, what's gonna speak to him. Some horses, when we go a little slower and kind of careful, they get a little actually more worried. And when we do that one steady, confident move, that holds them better. Some are the opposite. So I'm gonna walk him out again. And I'm actually gonna switch to the other side just to give that left side break. It's not easy for him. He has a little bit of a hard time standing there still, so that's fine. I give him a little break so he doesn't feel like he's stuck in this whole thing. I know where his nose is. It was on my back a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna walk it out again. It's just a little hard for him to have me there at the shoulder and walking in a tight circle around me, so I'll move him around in a little bit bigger circle. So for a moment, I'm actually gonna completely disconnect from you and see if I can bring 100% focus here and now with him. See if that makes any difference. So everything I'm doing here is I'm leaning into his worry and hesitation. Of course, I want to keep myself safe, but I'm saying I get it, I understand, and I'm willing to be there with you if you let me. Your worry, your hesitation, your fear are not going to change my me wanting to be with you. I'm not looping with him about it. I'm just trying to be their steady, steady presence, but I'm leaning into his experience of it. Well, if there is no leg or hoof, there is no horse, there is no survival. So this is like their main way of surviving. If the horse allows me to pick up their food and stand on three and be, quote, trapped in the way you hold it, in the farrier's position, whatever, that means they're saying, okay, for that amount of time, my life is literally in your hands. Well, can they fight for it? Can they pull the leg out? Can they kick you? Yes. But the whole idea of suddenly this is in somebody else's charge versus him having that completely available to him, it's a big one. It's a prey animal that puts its life in your hands. So depending what experience they had initially, the whole thing is that's how they're gonna feel about it. And I always say to people, when you have a horse that has never had their feet picked up, do it with a lot of respect and do it with help them to understand that when they put their life in your hands, they're safe, they will be okay. And yeah. Was better on the right side versus left side? That he let me run my hand down all the way and he actually stood for it, pretty much.
Why do you think it's better?
Huh?
What's the purpose?
Why was he a little better on the right side versus left side? So remember when I said when I go to the right side, I'm actually going to disconnect from you and try to be 100% present for him? Maybe he needed me, maybe he needed that. Maybe he needed 100% of me so he could really decide for himself, is that something he can do? He can, that only when he can monitor, like he can sense my 100% agenda, presence, thoughts, energy, breath, all of that. Maybe only then he could make his decision, okay, I'm either little. I'm gonna try, just because I'm curious, I'm gonna try this on the left. So again, I'm gonna disconnect from all of you for a moment. That's all I need from him at this moment. That's all. So me facing everything that potentially could be happening for him, me facing myself, oh, people watching, oh, Kasia, maybe you have to prove something. I don't know, some kind of BS, old BS. But just really being present, leaning into this whole situation. He's walking away. It may not happen. It may not happen in the session that I will touch his leg all the way down. He may not stand still. Facing all of that and saying, it's okay, because it is part of the journey. Because he has a right to feel and say whatever he needs to. And I need to be present to it, so then I can, instead of reacting, I can respond and continue this relationship.